Good morning everybody. I am Dr. Gurdeep from Punjab University Chandigarh, and I will be discussing something about leadership. Now what exactly is being covered in this presentation are three things. One is the definition and need for leadership, quality of a good leader, and manager versus leader. But what is our perception about leadership? What exactly is meant by leadership is okay. The first thing which comes in our mind when we talk about leadership is that there is a person who has some vision, who can lead the people, direct the people, encourage the people, motivate the people to achieve the targets, achieve the goal. So that is the work of a leader. Are there any specific qualities which make a leader, and what is the difference between a manager and a leader? uh, our, the first thing when we talk about leadership is that leaders are political leaders. So anybody, when we talk about leadership, it is about political leaders. No, that is a misconception. Leaders, even political leaders, have leadership qualities. People in corporate world can have leadership qualities. So first of all, let us have a look at some of the leaders who have really redefined the working of the corporate sector. They have really made some startling breakthroughs, and they have really led their company with example and motivated the people to work, achieve the target. So let us, I'll first introduce, give you some names about some great leaders in the corporate world. Mr. V Reddy from Shanta Biotech, he had a vision. No, need leaders always have a vision. Leadership means about vision. It's about achieving something for the in the corporate world, maybe in the government or in any sector, education. Talk about any section, we have leaders everywhere, but they have to have a vision that okay, this is what I want to achieve. This is what my target is. Without a mission, without a vision, leadership is not possible. Mr. V Reddy in Shanta Biotech had a vision for making a hepatitis B vaccine at a very affordable cost for Indians, at a total cost of rupees 50. At that time when he was talking about producing a vaccine at a price of rupees 50, the ongoing price was about 2500 rupees for the entire course. He wanted to bring it down to rupees 50. So that's remarkable. That's a vision which is very difficult to achieve. We talk about Mr. Narayan Murthy of Infosys Technologies. He started working with, I mean, the company started with only 7 people, and today it's one of the top IT companies in India. So he also had a vision. He had something, he wanted to achieve something, and how he wanted to achieve it, he had an idea about how to go about it. And he was very, any leader for that matter is very he knows what he wants to do and how to achieve it. But whatever obstacles come, whatever hurdles come in the way, the leaders achieve whatever they have set out for. So Mr. Narayan Murthy wanted to attract maximum IT outsourcing. There are a lot of companies in US, in UK, who want to outsource their work to India or to any other country. So Mr. Murthy wanted that all outsourcing work, IT outsourcing work should come to India. He wanted to really make Indian IT sector comparable with the best in the world. This was his vision. Even we talk about Steve Jobs, who was the CEO of Apple Computer. His vision was to make computing simple and available to everyone. Visions or missions appear to be very simple, but to achieve them one really needs leadership qualities. That's what we are going to discuss today. What exactly makes the leader? How does one achieve something impossible? We talk about there are some other great leaders who have led their companies in making, in financial sector, or it's in aviation, or in entertainment. We take about Walt Disney. So that gentleman had a vision of, a very simple vision is there right in front of you, to provide wholesome, high quality entertainment to families throughout the world. Now this is a very simple vision, but if you see, now Walt Disney is a big group. How he went about providing high quality entertainment to families throughout the world, that's a vision. And he was very, enthusiastic about this vision. He wanted to create entertainment, make a niche for Walt Disney in the entertainment world, and wanted to lead the entertainment world by making innovative things, innovative products. So these are some of the great leaders. So but another statement says, very important statement is that it's not necessary that only corporate leaders have quality of leadership. Political leaders, chairpersons, directors, board members, vice chancellors, principals, defense forces personnel, and others can also have the quality of leadership. Now leadership, when is the leadership required? How you is there that you come across some very strange situation, or some unexpected thing is going to come around, and if you can get over that unexpected things with your policies, with your vision, then is that leadership. For example, let us take the case of the person very well known as the metro man. So he was responsible for introducing the metro in Delhi. So that gentleman, when he was made the CEO of managing the metro in Delhi, there was no metro. I mean, in fact, it was very difficult to have a metro in a congested city like Delhi. But Mr. R. Sridharan was, who is the metro man, he had great leadership qualities, and he was able to achieve the nearly impossible thing of making a metro in Delhi and making it functional, making it profitable, and at a very competitive rate. It's not costly to go travel in a metro. He was a leader. We talk about any sector. Let us even we talk about our college principal. That lady or gentleman can have leadership qualities. So when a person has a leadership qualities, we look up to that person and say, okay, fine, he's a leader. Well, no, what are the qualities which make a leader? What is how is a leader different from some other person? So what I wanted to say is that it's not necessary that leaders are only in political field. No, leadership person can have leadership qualities in any sphere of life. You name it, and the person in that sphere of life can have leadership qualities. So what are these leadership qualities, and what exactly makes up leadership? That's what we are going to discuss. Now fundamental question again, which is asked every time, is that leaders are born, they are not made, or leaders are made, they are not born. This is a very controversial question, that whoever is a leader, he is born with these qualities of for example, when he is born, he has in him or her the qualities of a leader. Is it this statement right, or is it that leaders can be we can train people to be leaders? These are two very conflicting questions, very contrary questions, that it's very difficult to answer these questions, both of them. If we cannot take any single path and say, okay, no, whoever is a leader, he is born with the qualities of leadership. The other idea is that leaders are made. You can train people to be leaders. Even if somebody is not a leader, he can be, with experience or with training, that person can become a leader. It's not necessary that he is born with the qualities. So this is a very controversial question, I mean, regarding leadership, that it's very difficult to answer, but still we'll take some examples and discuss the qualities of leadership, so that at least we are able to take a single idea about from both these point of views. Leaders are born, they are not made. This means people are born with leadership qualities, they cannot be trained to become leaders. If you have leadership qualities, then you have it by birth. The required qualities were with you when you were born. So in this line of thought, people generally quote great leaders like Alexander, and historical leaders who maybe King Akbar would be one of the examples, and Mahatma Gandhi ji also could be one of the examples, in which it is said that these people are born with the leadership qualities. They have it in them. If you cannot be trained to become a leader. So this is one line of thought. The other line of thought says leaders are made, they are not born leaders. So the history also replete with various examples, like it is not necessary that you are born with those qualities. You can learn the qualities. Maybe you face such a situation in life that these qualities which were hidden inside you, or which you have gained through experience, they come out, they get more prominent, and you become a leader in that situation. So situation can make leaders. So this is another line of thought. Again, in this case, we can also discuss the case of Mahatma Gandhi ji, who on one side we are saying that he had leadership qualities from birth, but in this line of thought also there were certain situations which came in front of Mahatma Gandhi ji, and he faced those situations with courage and resolve. He didn't leave whatever path he wanted to achieve, whatever path he had taken, whatever vision he had about independent India, he stuck to that vision. He did not deviate from that vision, that okay, now these problems are coming, so what should I do? He was very firm in what he had to achieve. So maybe the situations which came in front of Gandhiji during the freedom struggle, that made him a great leader. Maybe he was not born with the leadership qualities. So, this is another line of thought. So, we can have two people again in I mean, you can say that okay, Gandhiji had leadership qualities, or for that matter Mr. Sridharan, who was the metro man in Delhi, he had those qualities right from birth, or maybe he learned those qualities of becoming a great leader while he was working in the railways. So, it's still it's very difficult to find out. There are various theories about leadership which we are very briefly going to discuss today. So, let us see what the next slide says. Okay, we have to define the leadership. We have various definitions of leadership, but any one definition will not suffice to cover the entire spectrum of leadership. So, definition 1 says it is a process whereby one individual influences other group members towards attainment of defined group or organization goals. Okay, the very important aspect in this is one individual influences other group members. So, obviously leadership is about groups, leadership is about teams. Any individual cannot work in isolation and achieve leadership qualities or achieve some goal. We nowadays work in groups, we nowadays work in teams. So, if a person can influence the other group members about the attainment of defined groups, or whatever has to be achieved, if that person can influence others to how to achieve those goals, then that person is a leader. Because everybody in a group, maybe some people try to be take the stance of being a leader, but it is not possible. People may or may not agree with you. So, if you have to influence the other group members towards attainment of defined group or organization goals. Sometimes goals are not defined. For example, making a metro in Delhi was a defined goal, but sometimes increasing the turnover of the company, introducing a new product, or entering into a strange market where the company has got no product. These are undefined goals. You do not know what is going to happen. There is a lot of uncertainty. So, leaders work under uncertainty, but they make corrective actions, they take corrective actions so that the goal can be achieved. Whatever hurdles come, they have some alternative method of crossing that hurdle. They do not get stuck, and one is a well defined goal. Even if a well defined goal is not there, they have to have some vision that this is what we want to achieve. So, that is one of the definitions of leadership. Let us take a look at the other definition. Leadership is the art or process of influencing people so that they strive willingly and enthusiastically towards the achievement of group goals. This is very important, that you make people willingly and enthusiastically work. तुसी किसी ਨੂੰ force नहीं करना है कि pressure पाके काम करना is not the work of a leader. They create an environment, they create a working environment where people can people say that we want to contribute from our own will. Nobody is pressurizing us. We are not working under pressure. Okay, pressure does not mean that you do not achieve your targets or goals. It means that there is a healthy environment where you are allowed to give your ideas. Those ideas are accepted, or even it is not accepted, you are given an argument, okay, why your idea is not being accepted, or you are encouraged to work. If you make some mistake, you are told about it, that how this mistake occurred, and in future how you can avoid this mistake. The people back you up whenever you make a mistake. Okay, they say, okay, fine, the company is with you, the organization is with you, you have made a mistake, does not matter. We are backing you up because you made a mistake. We are saying that okay, this person made a mistake, but it was not in his or her hands. It was something in the environment which made this, or even if there was some mistake done on your part, they back you up and say, okay, next time you please don't do it, we are with you, and if whatever is needed in future so that you don't make this mistake, we are with you. This kind of working environment are created by leaders who create an environment where people can work and contribute willingly and enthusiastically towards the goals. Let us take the look at the third definition. Again, very important. Leadership is coping with change. Leaders establish direction by developing a vision of the future. They align people by communicating this vision and inspire them to overcome hurdles. Now, leadership is, first statement says leadership is coping with change. No, there is always uncertainty in any field. There is always the environment is changing, government policies are changing, global standards are changing. So, there is always uncertainty and change. So, one should be always ready, rather than expect that change is going to occur. One should be ready to meet the challenge of change. So, leadership is coping with change. Leaders establish direction, they give a vision of the future, that this is what we have to do, and they inspire people to overcome hurdles. They do not discourage people, they do not say, okay, you have done this wrong, so this is your responsibility. They do not shirk from responsibility. They say, okay, if something has gone wrong, I take the responsibility of this, because these people are working under me, so you cannot hold them responsible, I am responsible. So, these type of qualities are is what leadership is all about. Leadership establishes direction, a vision of the future. Okay, what are the characteristics of leadership? There are only 3 characteristics. There could be many, but in 3 characteristics we can sum up what are the main ingredients of leadership. First is, leadership involves non-coercive influence. Leaders do not use force or coercive power to get things done. They set an example. They create an environment whereby individuals willingly contribute. So, it is again it is not by force or coercive power, by delegating or entire responsibility, you do not become a great leader. Leaders, they do not use force, they encourage people, they create an environment whereby people give in their best. So, that creating an environment, giving them a vision and how to achieve it. It is not that you are just giving the subordinates or your co-workers or your colleagues a vision. Vision anybody can give, but how to achieve that vision, that is the main challenge. So, even if Mr. Narayan Murthy had a vision of bringing in lot of IT outsourcing work to India, in which he has been very successful. We talk about Mr. Ramadurai from TCS, or any great leader in the corporate sector. That person had a vision, and it is not that you have a vision and that is it. You have to, for achieving that vision, you have to have certain strategies, certain objectives, certain policies, and a lot of plans have to be made how to achieve those goals in the face of change. That is what, because there is as I repeat, there will always be uncertainty in the environment. So, people, you have to give a vision and you have to tell, and you convince the people, motivate the people to achieve that goal or vision, whether it is for the country or whether it is in the corporate world, in the education world, wherever it is. So, leadership involves non-coercive influence, where you do not force people to do things, they enthusiastically or from their own will they work. Leadership influence is goal directed. Leaders exercise influence for a purpose, to attain defined group or organization goals. Now, leaders, if there is no goal, if there is no ultimate objective to be achieved, then leadership cannot be successful. You have to have a goal, you have to have the end point, which is your vision, where that is where I have to reach. So, that is your goal. If there is no goal, then you cannot direct people, motivate people. No, motivation or is always goal directed. It is just you have to achieve this goal. So, that is the ultimate, that is our far-fetched goal which we have to achieve, that is where we have to go. So, that where you have to achieve, where you have to reach, that is your ultimate goal. Without it, leadership is not possible. Leadership requires followers. If there is no follower, then there can be no leadership. Obviously, this is that if for a leader to work, there have to be some followers. Now, followers does not exactly mean that they are your subordinates, so they have to follow you. That is one point of view. The other thing is that they willingly contribute to the company's goal or the department's goal. It is not necessary that leaders are the CEOs of the companies. They do not head the companies. We can have people with leadership qualities in small departments, maybe in the government or education sector, and the army, wherever it is. So, even it is not necessary that leaders are only in the top people. Leaders can be the departmental heads, they can have leadership qualities, they can lead the people and encourage the people to achieve the goals. What are the good qualities of a good leader? So, this is some very basic qualities would be, which are not listed here, that he should be a hardworking person with good communication skills, so that he can convince his subordinates or his superiors about what he feels, how he wants to contribute to the company's goal. So hardworking person is very important. First in this, the qualities which I have listed is drive, desire for achievement, ambition, high energy, tenacity and initiative. Now desire for achievement means that you want to achieve something, you have to have that ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਕ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਇੱਕ एनर्जी डिज़ायर होना चाहिए कि मैं कुछ अचीव करना लाइफ विच, मेरा कुछ एंबिशन हैगा. विदाउट एंबिशन, इफ यू डोंट हैव दैट ड्राइव, अगर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ड्राइव नहीं हैगी है, अगर ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ इफ यू डोंट हैव दी हाई एनर्जी, okay, for high energy one has to be physically fit, one has to be healthy. So this is one of the main ingredients for a high energy. If you have a high energy, then your tenacity means that you are not easily deviated from your goals. You are firm. This means firmness. If you have to achieve something, you are firm about achieving that. So that having a drive of taking an initiative. If you don't take initiative, leaders take initiative. They say, okay, I'll do it, I can do it, I can show how it can be done in a better way. So if you don't have that drive of having an initiative or ambition, you don't want to achieve something in life, you don't want to do something great in life, or something which has not been done up till now, or you can improve the way it is done. So that is a drive. So leadership requires a drive, honesty and integrity. You have to be trustworthy, reliable and open. This means that trustworthy the matlab hunda hai ki people can trust you. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਸ਼ਵਾਸ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ okay, this person we can trust, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, he will achieve it, he will, whatever he is saying can be done. And if we are with this person, he will not let us down and tomorrow he will say, okay, this cannot be done. So the person has to be trustworthy. If he has trust, then this is a very important quality for a leader. Reliability is that you can that person is reliable. If he says something, he doesn't back out. He says, okay, this statement, this goal can be achieved in this way. There is some reliability in what he is saying, and if he is giving some way of doing a thing, that is a reliable way of doing a thing. Open means he is open to idea. He is not a stubborn person. He is not close to ideas that, okay, no, this cannot be. He is not throwing, or he is not forcing you to accept his or her idea. He is open to very arguments from your side. He is open to new ways of discussing things. He is even open to change the course of action. Now it is not that if a leader has a vision and he has set a course of action, he should have that flexibility to change that action course of action if others people can convince him, okay sir, there is another method. So he doesn't stick to that method only because he thinks that it is the right way. So he is open to new ideas. He is open to open to modes of discussion. He is open to having collaborative environment of discussion. Leadership motivation, desire to exercise influence over others to reach shared goals. So it is you have to have the desire to be a leader. If you don't have the desire to be a leader, then that comes from inside. ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਆਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ I have to be a leader, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੀਡਰ ਬਣਨਾ, ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ. And this motivation has to come. This is very important quality for a leader. Self confidence, okay, if you trust in your abilities, as I said earlier that you have a course of action, and people are trying to convince you that, okay, this is not the right way to doing things. It doesn't mean that you change the course of action. You are open to ideas, you are willing to discuss and maybe make some minor changes, but that entire process or entire path cannot be changed. Some minor changes can be done, but you have to trust in your abilities that, okay, this is the right way of doing. If some minor changes can be done in that course of action, depending upon discussions as we discussed under honesty and integrity, then that is good. But it doesn't mean that total change of line of action is not advisable, but sometimes leaders have to do that under the influence of their co-workers or the environment. So I am not saying that both you don't change or you partly change, or you do not change at all. So, this depends upon the environment. So, leaders have to be very careful about taking a course of action. They do not have to exactly, if they find or if they feel that okay, whatever I had thought this course of action, there are some drawbacks in some minor points here and there. So, that can be discussed, but changing course of action would not be a really good idea. Cognitive ability, intelligence, ability to integrate, interpret large amounts of information. This is this point. Intelligence, one very important aspect is interpret large amounts of information. Now, this is a world of data processing. We have so much data related to our maybe our industry, our economy, the global scenario, or the ways of manufacturing, and number of things, way of marketing it or producing a product, quality control. So much data is there available with us. So, how do we interpret large amounts of information? If Mr. R. Sridharan, who was the metro man in Delhi, he had lots of information about how to go about making the metro, whether it has to be under the ground or it has to be above the ground, or the metro will run on pillars or it will be totally on pillars. What type of technology do we need to construct underground metro stations or the metro lines? So, that he had lot of information. There were various ways of making the metro lines on which the metro is going to run. There were n number of manufacturers who are manufacturing different types of metros. So, what is to be the size of the width of the metro, so that it can run, how the compartments of the metro will be connected, it will be continuous or there will be different compartments, what is the technology to be used, what is the braking system to be used. So, this is n number of information he had to interpret large amounts of information and take decision based upon this information. So, leaders should know how to interpret, process that information, so that he can take a decision based upon a select data which he has gathered from the entire the universe of data. Knowledge of business. If you do not have knowledge of business, maybe he will not prove to be a very good leader. Mr. R. Sridharan had an experience of many years in the railways. So, he was well versed with the railway, how the railway works, what is the technology in railways, maybe, and he has also handled the Kolkata metros. So, he had some experience in it. If you do not have knowledge of the industry and relevant technical matters, then it is very difficult to be a leader. We talk about any say okay, if we have people in the education sector and at a very senior position in universities or colleges, they have to have some knowledge about how the education sector works, what is the requirement of the education sector, what are the constraints in the education sector, and what new technologies are coming in the education sector. So, this is the knowledge about having knowledge about a particular sector. So, if somebody is coming from as a fresh person, as a fresher without any knowledge about education industry, so it is going to be very difficult for him to prove himself or herself to be a very good leader. So, knowledge of industry and relevant technical matters is very important. Creativity, be original. So, he has to create something, think of new ideas, think of new procedures, think of new products, think of new technologies, or new applications of technology. So, that is creativity. It is very important that a person has originality and creativity in him, so that that person can become a leader. Flexibility, the very important is ability to adapt to needs of followers and requirements of situation. This is what we were discussing, that that person is open to ideas, he is flexible to adapt to the needs of followers and requirements of situation. Sometimes okay, some project is going on, so we expect the leader to execute the project. Some way in between, some constraint comes, some regulation, government regulation comes that this cannot be done. So, depending upon the requirements of the situation, requirements of the environment, he is flexible enough to take a decision. If that flexibility is not there, then leader will not be able to produce produce results and give results, or execute the project. Empathy, ability to sense other needs, listen to what followers say and read reactions of others. So, this is something about sensing what people want to say, what are their feelings. So, he has to be very leader should be very empathetic towards the followers and try to listen to them. Even if there is some argument, he has to resolve the argument, and he has to listen to what followers say and read reactions of others. Now as I told you, everything today is being done through teams. Teams work, and there were traditional work groups. Traditional work groups means how we were working in the past, and if you see the headings, it says in traditional work groups, and the other side we have a heading of now what happens in teams. So traditionally